Day 84. Joshua 19-21. The second lot came out for the clans of the tribe of Simeon. Their inheritance lay within the territory of Judah and included Beersheba, or Sheba, Moladah, Hazar-shual, Balah, Izem, El-talad, Bethuel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth-marcaboth, Hazar-susah, Beth-lebaoth, and Cheruhan, 13 cities. Along with their villages. En-rimmon, Ether, and Ashan, 4 cities, along with their villages, and all the villages surrounding these cities as far as Baalath-beer, Ramah of the Negev. This was the inheritance of the clans of the tribe of Simeon. The inheritance of the Simeonites was taken from the territory of Judah, because the share for Judah's descendants was too large for them. So the Simeonites received an inheritance within Judah's portion. The third lot came up for the clans of the tribe of Zebulun. The border of their inheritance stretched as far as Sarid. It went up westward to Merilah, reached Dabbesheth, and met the brook east of Jonim. From Sarid it turned eastward along the border of Chisloth-tabor and went on to Debaroth and up to Japhia. From there it crossed eastward to Gath-hepher and to Eth-kazin. It extended to Rimmon and curved around toward Ne. Then the border circled around the north side of Ne to Hanathon and ended at the Valley of Iphtah-el. It also included Kaddath, Nahalal, Shimron, Idalah, and Bethlehem. There were 12 cities, along with their villages. This was the inheritance of the clans of the tribe of Zebulun, including these cities and their villages. The fourth lot came out for the clans of the tribe of Issachar. Their territory included Jezreel, Chisloth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shin, Anaharath, Rabbath, Kishon, Ebez, Ramoth, En-gannim, En-haddah, and Beth-pazzez. The border reached Tabor, Shahazumah, and Beth-shemesh, and ended at the Jordan. There were 16 cities, along with their villages. This was the inheritance of the clans of the tribe of Issachar, including these cities and their villages. The fifth lot came out for the clans of the tribe of Asher. Their territory included Helkath, Hali, Bidon, Akshaph, Elimelech, Amad, and Mishal. On the west the border touched Carmel and Shihor-libnath, then turned eastward toward Beth-dagon, touched Zebulun and the Valley of Iphtah-el, and went north to Beth-emek and Neiel, passing Kabul on the left. It went on to Ebron, Rehob, Hammon, and Kana, as far as Greater Sidon. The border then turned back toward Ramah as far as the fortified city of Tyre, turned toward Hosah, and came out at the sea in the region of Ichzib, Ummah, Aphek, and Rehob. There were 22 cities, along with their villages. This was the inheritance of the clans of the tribe of Asher, including these cities and their villages. The sixth lot came out for the clans of the tribe of Naphtali. Their border started at Helef and the great tree of Zaanannim, passing Adami-nekeb and Jabneel as far as Lechem and ending at the Jordan. Then the border turned westward to Aznoth-tabor and ran from there to Hukkok, touching Zebulun on the south side, Asher on the west, and Judah at the Jordan on the east. The fortified cities were Ziddim, Zer, Hamath, Rakkath, Chinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Edrei, En-hazor, Iron, Migdal-el, Horem, Beth-anath, and Beth-shemesh. There were 19 cities, along with their villages. This was the inheritance of the clans of the tribe of Naphtali, including these cities and their villages. The seventh lot came out for the clans of the tribe of Dan. The territory of their inheritance included Zorah, Eshtaol, Ir-shemesh, Shalabin, Aijalon, Ithla, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, Eltk, Gibbethon, Baalath, Jihad, Bene-berak, Gath-rimmon, Me-jarkon, and Rakkan. Including the territory across from Joppa. Later, when the territory of the Danites was lost to them, they went up and fought against Leshem, captured it, and put it to the sword. So they took possession of Leshem, settled there, and renamed it after their father Dan. This was the inheritance of the clans of the tribe of Dan, including these cities and their villages. When they had finished distributing the land into its territories, the Israelites gave Joshua son of Nun an inheritance among them, as the Lord had commanded. They gave him the city of Timnath-serah in the hill country of Ephraim, as he requested. He rebuilt the city and settled in it. These are the inheritances that Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the families distributed by lot to the tribes of Israel at Shiloh before the Lord at the entrance to the tent of meeting. So they finished dividing up the land. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Tell the Israelites to designate the cities of refuge, as I instructed you through Moses, so that anyone who kills another unintentionally or accidentally may flee there. These will be your refuge from the avenger of blood. When someone flees to one of these cities, stands at the entrance of the city gate, and states his case before its elders, they are to bring him into the city and give him a place to live among them. Now if the avenger of blood pursues him, they must not surrender the manslayer into his hand, because that man killed his neighbor accidentally without prior malice. He is to stay in that city until he stands trial before the assembly and until the death of the high priest serving at that time. Then the manslayer may return to his own home in the city from which he fled. So they set apart Kadesh in Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath-arba, that is, Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. And beyond the Jordan, east of Jericho, they designated Bezer on the wilderness plateau from the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead from the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan from the tribe of Manasseh. These are the cities appointed for all the Israelites and foreigners among them, so that anyone who kills a person unintentionally may flee there and not die by the hand of the avenger of blood prior to standing trial before the assembly. Now the family heads of the Levites approached Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the other tribes of Israel at Shiloh in the land of Canaan, and said to them, The Lord commanded through Moses that we be given cities in which to live, together with pasture lands for our livestock. So by the command of the Lord, the Israelites gave the Levites these cities and their pasture lands out of their own inheritance. The first lot came out for the Kohathite clans. The Levites who were descendants of Aaron the priest received 13 cities by lot from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin. The remaining descendants of Kohath received 10 cities by lot from the tribes of Ephraim, Dan, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. The descendants of Gershon received 13 cities by lot from the tribes of Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. And the descendants of Merari received 12 cities from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So the Israelites allotted to the Levites these cities, together with their pasture lands, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. From the tribes of Judah and Simeon, they designated these cities by name to the descendants of Aaron from the Kohathite clans of the Levites, because the first lot fell to them. They gave them Kiriath-arba, that is, Hebron, with its surrounding pasture lands, in the hill country of Judah. Arba was the father of Anak. But they had given the fields and villages around the city to Caleb son of Jephunneh as his possession. So to the descendants of Aaron the priest they gave these cities, together with their pasture lands, Hebron, a city of refuge for the manslayer, Libnah, Jatair, Eshtemo, Halan, Debir, En-haddah, and Beth-shemesh, 9 cities from these 2 tribes, together with their pasture lands. And from the tribe of Benjamin they gave them Gibeon, Geba, Anathoth, and Almon, 4 cities, together with their pasture lands. In all, 13 cities, together with their pasture lands, were given to the priests, the descendants of Aaron. The remaining Kohathite clans of the Levites were allotted these cities. From the tribe of Ephraim they were given Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, a city of refuge for the manslayer, Gezer, Kibzaim, and Beth-horon, 4 cities, together with their pasture lands. From the tribe of Dan they were given Eltek, Gibbethon, Aijalon, and Gath-rimmon, 4 cities, together with their pasture lands. And from the half-tribe of Manasseh they were given Tanach and Gath-rimmon, 2 cities, together with their pasture lands. In all, 10 cities, together with their pasture lands, were given to the rest of the Kohathite clans. This is what the Levite clans of the Gershonites were given. From the half-tribe of Manasseh they were given Golan in Bashan, a city of refuge for the manslayer, and Beersheba, 2 cities, together with their pasture lands. From the tribe of Issachar they were given Kishon, Dabaroth, Jarmuth, and En-gannim, 4 cities, together with their pasture lands. From the tribe of Asher they were given Mishal, Abdon, Helkath, and Rehob, 4 cities, together with their pasture lands. And from the tribe of Naphtali they were given Kadesh in Galilee, a city of refuge for the manslayer, Hamath-dor, and Kartan, 3 cities, together with their pasture lands. In all, 13 cities, together with their pasture lands, were given to the Gershonite clans. This is what the Merarite clan, the rest of the Levites, were given. From the tribe of Zebulun they were given Joniam, Karta, Dimnah, and Nahalal, 4 cities, together with their pasture lands. From the tribe of Reuben they were given Bezer, Hahaz, Kedemoth, and Mephath, 4 cities, together with their pasture lands. And from the tribe of Gad they were given Ramoth in Gilead, a city of refuge for the manslayer, Mahanaim, Heshbon, and Jazer, 4 cities in all, together with their pasture lands. In all, 12 cities were allotted to the clans of Merari, the remaining Levite clans. For the Levites, then, there were 48 cities in all, together with their pasture lands, within the territory of the Israelites. Each of these cities had its own surrounding pasture lands. This was true for all the cities. Thus the Lord gave Israel all the land he had sworn to give their fathers, and they took possession of it and settled in it. And the Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their fathers. None of their enemies could stand against them, for the Lord delivered all their enemies into their hand. Not one of all the Lord's good promises to the house of Israel had failed, everything was fulfilled. Luke 2 verses 25 to 52. Now there was a man in Jerusalem named Simeon, who was righteous and devout. He was waiting for the consolation of Israel, and the Holy Spirit was upon him. The Holy Spirit had revealed to him that he would not see death before he had seen the Lord's Christ. Led by the Spirit, he went into the temple courts. And when the parents brought in the child Jesus to do for him what was customary under the law, Simeon took him in his arms and blessed God, saying, "Sovereign Lord, as you have promised, you now dismiss your servant in peace. For my eyes have seen your salvation, which you have prepared in the sight of all people, a light for revelation to the Gentiles, and for glory to your people Israel." The child's father and mother were amazed at what was spoken about him. Then Simeon blessed them and said to his mother Mary, "Behold, this child is appointed to cause the rise and fall of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be spoken against. So that the thoughts of many hearts will be revealed, and a sword will pierce your soul as well." There was also a prophetess named Anna, the daughter of Phanuel, of the tribe of Asher, who was well along in years. She had been married for 7 years, and then was a widow to the age of 84. She never left the temple, but worshipped night and day, fasting and praying. Coming forward at that moment, she gave thanks to God and spoke about the child to all who were waiting for the redemption of Jerusalem. When Jesus' parents had done everything required by the law of the Lord, they returned to Galilee, to their own town of Nazareth. And the child grew and became strong. He was filled with wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. Every year his parents went to Jerusalem for the feast of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up according to the custom of the feast. When those days were over and they were returning home, the boy Jesus remained behind in Jerusalem, but his parents were unaware he had stayed. Assuming he was in their company, they traveled on for a day before they began to look for him among their relatives and friends. When they could not find him, they returned to Jerusalem to search for him. Finally, after 3 days they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were astounded at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. "Child, why have you done this to us?" His mother asked. "Your father and I have been anxiously searching for you." "Why were you looking for me?" he asked. "Did you not know that I had to be in my father's house?" But they did not understand the statement he was making to them. Then he went down to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them. But his mother treasured up all these things in her heart. And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and man.